What's going on, guys? Killer6, and today I want to show you guys all of the legendary items that I found during my time with the Wonderlands demo. So obviously, spoilers, if you do not want to know about any of the legendary gear, then click away now. I'm pretty sure none of the drops that I got during this run were from their dedicated sources, but we weren't able to save quit farm to confirm. Basically, to farm a named enemy, I had to redo the entire 2 hours of content each time, so I mostly spent my time just running a loop around the map, killing the non-named enemies who would respawn. And most of my drops came from those types of enemies, with only 2 coming from actually named enemies. As a point of reference, the world drops definitely feel lower than on Borderlands 3, but still significantly better than they were on Borderlands 2, and this feels like a good balance to me. Alright, final warning, here come the legendary drops I got during my 2-week early access to the Wonderlands demo. My first drop was this Pathfinder's Corrupted Plate Mail of the Cataclysm. Its red text says there must always be a Leech King, and this is a play on a similar quote from World of Warcraft. The special ability of this class mod is that it converts 30% of my damage dealt into dark magic damage and increases my dark magic efficiency by 30% as well. Now, I believe this keeps your gun damage the same as it would be, but splits the damage 70-30, with that 30% becoming dark magic and the other 70% being your regular gun type damage, which is basically, dark magic is basically healing. Essentially, this turns all of your weapons into healing weapons. The next legendary I got was another class mod. This one is the Ambusher's Corrupted Plate Mail of the Abysmal Bomb. Same red text reference as the last one, so I guess that means that this is a Corrupted Plate Mail class mod, with the other text on both of these referring to the classes that it benefits and also the benefits that it gets to passive rolls. My third legendary drop absolutely blew my mind. This generic skeleton mage dropped me my first legendary weapon in Borderlands 3, the Slammin' Salmon of Mirth. That's right, a giant fish melee weapon. Obviously, this takes the fish slap from Borderlands 3 and it turns it up a notch. Sadly, the demo did not have photo mode enabled, or else I would have taken some pictures of me swinging this thing around. The red text reads, "How's that taste?" all in caps. I don't know what that's a reference to, so if you guys know, let me know in the comment section down below. The special ability of this weapon is that melee attacks always apply a poison status effect, stacking up to 5 times. So hit an enemy 5 times, you're going to do a lot more poison status effect damage. Additionally, this melee weapon also has a amped perk, which makes melee attacks amplify the damage of your next 3 gunshots by 33.8% for 10 seconds. Pretty awesome melee weapon here that works beautifully with weapons. I could see this being a very efficient melee weapon for Stabomancers, as you can just whack somebody once with this thing, get your damage increased by 33%, and you're going to be doing lots of crit damage, so this could be really strong with that. The next legendary that I got was dropped by a Taskmaster, which is basically a badass ogre. He dropped me the Gladiator's Diamond Gauntlets of Ugton's Torment. All of these have these crazy long names, man. This is another class mod. The red text on this one says elemental damage only goes up. Another one that I don't know the reference for, so again, feel free to post in the comments below if you do get what this is a reference to. The special ability on this one is that while standing still, gain 50% increased critical hit chance, dark magic efficiency, and poison damage. Pretty decent little class mod. Now, my first named enemy drop was the Cavalier's Smart Armor of the Flashing Sword. This one dropped from the final boss of the demo quest line. I only got this one time from killing that thing like probably 10 times. The red text says task critically failed successfully. The special ability on this one is that the total crit hit chance is reduced by 50%, but the crit hit damage is increased by 50%. And this sounds like it would be absolutely perfect for the Stabomancer that is focusing on critical hit damage, because when you're using the From the Shadows skill on Stabomancer, your critical hits will count whether you're hitting body, feet, head, whatever, it doesn't matter. The next legendary that I got was a legendary spell, and this one was dropped by a goblin grunt. This one's called the Slapping Twister. The red text reads Moo. The item name and red text are references to the 1996 film Twister. This grenade is pretty interesting. The special ability on this one is that on throw, this thing deals fire and lightning damage in a spiral, which will also grab up nearby enemies and pull them along the flight path of this grenade, just like a twister picking up a cow and taking it for a ride. Great for mobbing, or even just to pull enemies off of the map. Not great for damage from my experience, at least. Then I had a pretty big drought in legendary drops after that, not getting another one until about 4 hours of gameplay later, when I finally got my first legendary band dropped by a badass skeleton, the Alley's Shell Casing Ring of the Surgeon's Eye. Again, my god, these names are long. Red text reads stop habitually reloading. The special ability on this one is that while your gun is low on ammo, it doesn't say what constitutes too slow on ammo. I don't know if that means that reload is appeared on the screen or if it's like when you're half ammo. Not sure. It doesn't say, and it doesn't tell us exactly, but the effects are increased by 50%. Now this wording is vague. I believe that it means the effects of the band, which in this case would be companion damage, but I'm not sure if it also buffs the other passive effects or not. Or I could be completely wrong and it's just all ability damage. I'm not entirely sure. Next up was my second melee weapon, this time dropped by another troll jailer, the same type of enemy that dropped me my very first legendary. This one is the snake stick of the crusher. The red text reads, "My new thing now is snake jazz." This is a direct quote from Rick and Morty. The special effects of this weapon is that melee attacks will spawn a nearby Hydra companion that deals melee damage for 6 seconds. It also has an Archmage roll on it, which restores 3.1% of my spell cooldown. This is a pretty decent Kama type melee weapon. Liked it a lot. The next legendary I got was my first gun legendary, the Fragment Reign of the Magician, and this is actually my only gun legendary that I got during this entire time. The red text says, "Nothing burns like the cold," which might be a reference to a song of the same name by Vince Staples. Not sure on this. Special ability of this gun is that throw reloads will explode on contact and morph into a Hydra companion, shooting at enemies for a duration. The one that I got was pretty low for base damage, 4 times 4, but shots appear to split off from struck targets and hit other nearby enemies. Not sure if this gun is always a times 4, but if so, then it could be pretty awesome when you get it later on. Obviously, this gun would appear to always be locked to cryo. Up next was my first legendary ward, or shield in this game, the Ancient Deity of Hail. Red text is, "Hear my words that I might teach you," which is a lyric from a Simon and Garfunkel song called "The Sound of Silence." You might have heard of that one. It's pretty popular. This one has 20% elemental damage resistance, negative 20% physical damage resistance, 10% dark magic damage, and 10% fire rate when the ward is depleted. This one feels kind of close in spirit to the old god from Borderlands 3, giving resistance and damage. This one rolled with dark magic as the element, and I'm assuming that this thing can probably roll with other elements to change those resistances and bonuses. But I'm not sure. Yet again, I was only able to find one of these in my entire playthrough. The next thing that I got was a legendary band, or a ring, from another named enemy. Now, this one might be a dedicated drop, but I'm not positive, so I'm not even going to tell you which enemy dropped it. The Alley's Promise Ring of the Jinx. The red text says, "Wait for it." The item name and red text are references to the League of Legends character Jinx. The special ability is that while action skill is ready, effects are increased by 25%, and just like the last band, this description is vague, so I'm not 100% positive what effects it's referring to. But this thing's pretty cool because essentially, as long as you're not using your action skill, you're getting the effects of this band. Then I got another legendary class mod. The legendary class mods were the most common thing that I got, obviously. This one was the Pathfinder's Amalgam of the Hellhound. The red text says, "The infinite is possible, the only limitation is yourself." This is a play on a quote by Roy T. Bennett from his book, The Light in the Heart. The special effects for this thing appear to be lots of damage boosts. You got companion critical chance, companion damage, maximum ward capacity, gun damage, and gun critical hit chance. So it seems like a pretty strong class mod. My final legendary during early access was from spinning one of the golden dice that we found in the maps. This time I got another legendary ward, the Mind Rune. Red text says, "If you can think of a better way to get ice, I'd like to hear it." This is reference to Simpsons character Apu, who says this exact line in one of the episodes. The special ability is that when you cast it, it will summon a frost rune underneath of a nearby enemy that will explode after a short delay. This effect has a slight cooldown. Additionally, this ward works with other players wearing a rune type ward, allowing them all to have this effect. Sadly, from my testing, the ice rune doesn't work very well and didn't do that much damage. Most enemies would actually just run away before it could even explode. So maybe this is one for Gearbox to buff right off the bat. Maybe give it a little bit more damage, maybe make it trigger a little bit faster as well. So all in all, I got 13 legendary items, most of them as world drops, and most while my game was set on balanced difficulty, which I honestly don't think has anything to do with drops, but I could be wrong. But I wanted to point it out nevertheless. All this over the course of 3 days, 18 hours, 5 minutes, and 3 seconds of game time. So definitely a reduction compared to Borderlands 3, but the balance felt pretty good to me. Again, I don't know how many of these were dedicated drops, if any, since I couldn't actually save quit farm on this demo to test out drop rates. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, tap the bell icon for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.